Welcome to UGC E-Pathshala Postgraduate Learning in Food Science. I am Dr. Maria Margaret Joseph, Associate Professor, Department of Home Science, Women's Christian College, Chennai. Today in this module we are going to deal about training in sanitation and education in sanitation. So the main objective of this module is to learn the importance of training in sanitation and how to conduct a training program, the target people, and the different procedures to be followed in having a sanitation training program for any food service operation or in any commercial setup system. So what is sanitation? Sanitation is an integral part of food safety. Food hygiene training is fundamentally important. All personnel should be aware of their role and responsibility in protecting food from contamination or deterioration. Food handlers should have the necessary knowledge and skills to enable them to handle food hygienically. No matter how large or small the organization, a food processing facility should regard food safety and concern for public health as its number one priority. Initiating recalls can be costly and time consuming, reducing yields and productivity. On average, it takes several years for a company to recover from a foodborne illness outbreak that has been traced back to its facility. Some never do. It takes years to develop a successful brand and gain consumer loyalty, while it can take only seconds to destroy it. Effectively training employees helps to prevent these adverse effects and achieve the company's food safety and quality goals. In fact, without training, individuals and companies are likely to form bad habits that can be costly and difficult to correct. It may be difficult for some employees to understand terms like listeria, monocytogenes, zero tolerance, defect action levels, or spore-forming bacteria. Although most facilities have qualified management educated in food safety, it is sometimes a challenge to convey the concepts they know and understand so well to actual manufacturing employees, those who actually touch, handle, and process foods. It becomes important then for the food company to determine which concepts will be included in training and the exact approach as to how to convey these topics. Thus, this undertaking must be tailored to each individual company because the diversity and educational levels of employees differ among companies and within companies. All food processors should have a well-designed food safety program that includes a diverse curriculum and answers the who's, what's, and why's which are associated with food service activities. A well-organized training matrix helps ensure good quality, a consistent product, and a sanitary environment under which foods are produced. If carried out effectively, food safety, quality, and sanitation training help to assure a safe product for the end user and ultimately protects the brand and enhance the image of the company or the food company. Who does this training? The management plays the most significant role in the effective training of employees. Not only is it the responsibility of management to ensure that all employees are educated about the company's food safety policies and best practices, but managers must also be alert to personnel training needs. It is a good idea to have built-in procedures in place to determine when a need for training exists. Look for trends, for example, if verification monitoring or test results show that a process or product is abnormal or outside of specifications. This may indicate that there is a need to conduct food safety training. Perhaps a new employee working in a problem area has not had adequate training for work in that particular area. The managers must be good role models and know the rules themselves. Production managers should be available to oversee aspects of the operations and make certain that the employees are performing job functions as trained. Management holds the task of helping to create a culture built around food safety within the organization. Without this foundation, training will not be effective. In-house safety training should be conducted by trained, qualified personnel. Every food production or handling facility should have a person or persons who are in charge of training. These individuals should be qualified and have above average knowledge of food safety. They should stay current with the industry standards and new regulations and be supported in these endeavors by the corporate management. In addition, it is good to assign different trainers to different areas. The sanitation supervisor may be more effective in training on sanitation standard operating procedures, while the warehouse manager would serve better to teach teammates about food safety aspects of an incoming goods inspection or a shipping program. All training material should be submitted to the quality assurance quality control supervisor for review prior to training. The food production and handling facility can also utilize the expertise of outside contractors such as pest control operators and chemical suppliers to aid or help in training. Most service providers offer some level of application and maintenance training as a service to their clients, which can serve to validate what the food company has already taught its employees. Similarly, outside auditing firms, consultants, and other food safety training providers will generate information about the company's processes and practices that can be incorporated into the training program. Depending on the size of the firm, employees may respond to non-company employees more positively. They often view these supplier technicians as new, adjunct members of the department team and will regard what they have to say as expert opinion. Train the whats and whys. So, why do we need to train and what do we train on? Every employee, including the managers, should receive initial food safety protocol training and receive refresher training on a regular basis thereafter. Initial training is by far the most imperative. Companies should require that employees undergo some sort of initial training before beginning to work. Many times, new employees have had no previous exposure to working in a food processing environment and even less knowledge of food safety and food handling practices. Training from the onset prevents teammates from having the opportunity to form bad or incorrect habits. If something goes wrong in such an institute, the employees cannot be blamed. It is the management or the people in authority who are to blame because they have to inform the newly recruited employees about maintaining food safety, the procedure to maintain food safety. It's not safe to assume that employees already know something without having been trained. Terms like food safety, cross-contamination, the transfer of a potentially hazardous substance to another surface of food, for example, and bacteria should become part of the facility's vocabulary. Employees should have a general understanding of what bacteria is, that some bacteria are potentially dangerous if present in food, where microbiological hazards are typically found, the means by which these are transferred, and the measures which could be used to prevent contamination of foods. Similarly, employees should be educated about allergen control practices, physical hazard prevention, and chemical cross-contamination, and the role they play in ensuring these hazards do not end up in the final product. The emphasis during training is to urge employees to follow safe habits and educate them as to why this is important. Initial training should convey to employees the importance of food safety by emphasizing the risk associated with producing unsafe foods, including the number of consumers that can be affected, the severity of the illness. In short, if the employee is explained about the severity of the hazard that it can cause, and therefore he might see the need to be educated in this area and to follow the safety practices ensuring sanitation at all times. This may require, for example, demonstrating exactly how a hair restraint should be worn, followed by an explanation about how it could prevent bacteria found in hair from falling into or contaminating food, and prevents employees from touching or playing with the hair and later preparing food without washing their hands. If an employee has to perform a temperature check and record it, explain why this procedure is required and what employees stand to gain or prevent by taking this step. When employees see these practices demonstrated, it is easier to continue training with more advanced, detailed food safety concepts, and they are provided an important foundation that keeps them committed to using food safety best practices consistently and routinely. Food safety training should start with some basics. This means basing the training program on good manufacturing practices guidelines. It's known as GMP for short. GMP training should be conducted at least on a routine basis for employees. It is good to place special emphasis on the employee hygiene aspects of this guideline in any good food safety training program, such as good personal hygiene begins upon reporting to work. Wearing clean uniforms helps to prevent induction of bacteria. By requiring that items such as clean smocks and aprons are provided at the facility, the employer can help to prevent the transfer of harmful bacteria. Providing clean and well-maintained changing rooms significantly reduces the risk of cross-contamination within the plant. The company should provide a place for workers to store personal belongings. Training should focus on keeping common areas extremely sanitary. During the course of the day, many employees will enter and exit common areas including the changing rooms, bathrooms, chemical storage rooms, food contact, non-food contact areas, increasing the potential for cross-contamination. A strict policy on hand washing should be in place, and all employees should be given training in proper hand washing techniques. Other general GMP training concepts include eating, drinking, and smoking only in designated areas, the proper use of hair restraints, removal of unnecessary jewelry, prohibiting employees from bringing personal items into the processing areas. It's not recommended that employees be allowed to wear work boots or shoes to their homes or outside the work area, as that would bring in cross-contamination. Since a large percentage of foodborne illness outbreaks are the result of employees working while they are sick or infected, it is very important to educate them in this area and tell them the risk of them spreading disease by reporting to work in a sick state. A diverse training matrix encompasses every aspect of the operation, from purchasing, receiving, storage, processing, shipping, distribution, and sanitation. Training will include general food safety topics. However, it must be specific to the particular operation and procedure the employee is dealing with. Although there are many concepts that should be communicated to all employees, it is important that training is specific for each person depending on his job. It might not be as significant for a process line cook to be trained in the proper chemical concentrations of sanitizing. For example, every company should have a HACCP program in place. So what is HACCP? It is a Hazard Analysis Critical Control Point course, which is required. And what is this all about? A HACCP course covers the principles of the plan in detail, the plan of maintaining good sanitation. This management employee receives a certification upon completing this course. Also, all employees monitoring critical control points must undergo specific HACCP training. As always, this training must be documented and include training records. Now, what is the purpose of training? Without that goal in mind, there couldn't be a good successful training program for sanitation. Whatever the circumstance, there should be some type of assessment after training to verify that employees have understood the concepts presented. Not being able to prove that training has taken place can sometimes be viewed as equally as bad as having never performed it. This is why it is particularly important to officially document training. This can be an outline of the topics covered and an employee sign-off sheet. This helps to hold employees accountable and validates the training during audit procedures. Keep a set of records with the Human Resource Department and another with a Quality Control Manager. Each employee should have a file that lists all the company's training programs and those applicable to each employee. Each category can be checked off to indicate that an employee has successfully completed training in any given area. This makes it very easy to see if a particular employee shows a deficiency in knowledge. Encourage employees by posting accomplishments or issuing achievement certificate, or add incentives or award programs for having successfully completed the training. The food company should make training a normal event within the company. Have employees give input and interject their questions or concerns during the training. Employees need to know that management places a strong emphasis on training. The act of training employees helps the employees realize their importance and value to operations and productivity. Some general approaches to communicating food safety information to employees will help make training programs very effective. For instance, explain the purpose, goals, objectives of training. The purpose may be for some corrective reason, that is, something wasn't done the right way and you want to prevent the same thing from occurring again. Regardless of how often, keep sessions brief and to the point. Maintain focus on food safety, not other business matters. Utilize activities to keep the training concepts interesting. Have employees wash hands, apply some glow germ and turn off the lights. It will probably stick in their minds what they have done. They will remember the importance of washing better after seeing the green glow of bacterial residue on the hand. Accompany and follow up training by posting or making available materials that remind employees about what they've learned, such as posters. Companies with detailed, effective food safety training programs experience less turnover rate than companies who do not have the same. Ultimately, a good training program helps to retain employees, and in turn, the company spends less time training new employees and more time producing safe, good quality foods. Let us have a look at what is an effective sanitation program. An effective sanitation program is essential to the overall success of any food handling operation. Good sanitation will be rewarded with improved morale, better productivity, and a reduced chance of regulatory incidences or recalls. These are reasons why it is important for every food handling establishment to develop an effective sanitation program. There are 4 basic steps in a good sanitation program, and each of these steps will be addressed as follows. The first step is to assign a plant sanitarian. The second and third steps are to establish written cleaning procedures and schedules. Last but not the least, step 4 is to document, maintain records of sanitation inspections. Let us see what is the role of the plant sanitarian. Someone must be charged with the overall responsibility for the program. This may be one individual or a team collectively. For this person to be effective, the authority must be delegated by the upper management. The responsibility bestowed on this individual must include development of effective cleaning procedures and schedules, training and supervision of the sanitation employees, and an effective self-inspection program to verify that all areas have been effectively cleaned and sanitized. The person in charge of sanitation program must be a member of the management or supervisory staff, and they must have the support of the plant manager. The plant sanitarian must have the authority to take all the necessary steps to ensure that all the equipment and each area of the plant will be properly cleaned and sanitized. Next important part of a good sanitizing program would be to maintain written cleaning procedures. A written cleaning procedure must provide a step-by-step method for properly cleaning and sanitizing each piece of equipment. The written procedure provides a reference to define the proper way to perform a cleaning task and can be used as a training tool for employees. Some facilities use a format based upon scientific process. This process is an organized approach that includes a list of all materials and supplies that are needed to perform the task. It's a more methodical way of going about the procedure. This list of materials will include the tools to be used in the performance of the task. For example, brooms, mops, cleaning brushes, hoses, plastic scouring pads, etc. Wrenches, screwdrivers, and other tools could also be on this list if it is necessary to disassemble the equipment to provide a thorough cleaning. The particulars of such a list will depend upon the job. A list of cleaners and sanitizers that are needed to properly perform the task is also very vital to the cleaning procedure. A list of clothing and protective gear will also be needed while performing the cleaning. If you are using a very powerful bleaching agents, etc., some preventive measures have to be taken. After all, the person who is cleaning is a human being, and therefore he needs to be protected. It is very important that the employee be equipped to perform the cleaning task without the risk of personal harm. Rubber wetsuits, rubber boots, gloves, face shields and goggles might be included in the list as per the requirement. The second portion of the cleaning procedure is to provide a step-by-step method for how to perform the task. This will be a very detailed procedure that will address a specific cleaning action step by step, including details like pre-rinsing of the equipment, preparation of the cleaning chemicals, application of the cleaning chemical to obtain the desired result. The concentration and temperature of the cleaning chemical are very important elements to achieve the desired goal. Rinsing of the equipment to remove the chemical and food residue should be followed. Application of sanitizers, that's the exact concentration to be used, should also be specified in this step. The approach used in the development of cleaning procedures will reflect the conditions mandated by the production schedule, and other special needs. In all cases, the format to be used must provide precise instructions that will ensure the proper cleaning and sanitizing of all equipment to remove debris and microorganisms that could cause a foodborne illness. Next, we go to the written cleaning schedule. While the cleaning procedure tells us how to properly clean and sanitize the equipment, the cleaning schedule provides a documented program for the frequency that each task is to be completed and assigns each task to individuals on the cleaning crew. Cleaning schedules usually are set up in 2 stages. A daily cleaning schedule. This schedule will assign the specific task that is to be carried out by a member of the cleaning crew every day. And a master sanitation schedule. What is this? The master sanitation schedule will assign the cleaning tasks that are not completed daily. These tasks may be assigned for completion on a weekly, monthly, or a quarterly basis, etc. Once again, we must keep in mind that the cleaning schedule must conform to the needs of the facility. The differences in products, equipment, size of the facility, and availability in terms of manpower may dictate how the cleaning schedule is to be designed. The ability to achieve the objective of the overall sanitation program will be the main deciding factor. Next important aspect is the self-inspection program. The effectiveness of the sanitation program will be measured by the findings of the self-inspection program. To accomplish this objective, a specific schedule for self-inspection must be developed. Self-inspections will include pre-operational inspections which are conducted before starting the processing line. These should be used. Inspections will generally concentrate on the food contact surfaces, but you must be careful that you do not ignore the overall environment. This inspection is designed to ensure that each food contact surface is in fact clean and sanitary condition. The inspection will be composed of a visual inspection and may include taking swab samples to be tested for microbiological load or to be tested using a bioluminescence technique to test for organic material on the surface. All findings of the pre-operational inspection must be corrected prior to starting the operation line. Another type is a monthly self-inspection. A full inspection covering all areas of the plant must be conducted periodically. This inspection will cover all areas of the operation and include all food contact surfaces and framework as well as the processing environment, which includes the floors, walls, ceilings, drains, and overhead structure. Processing areas, raw material warehouses, finished product warehouses, packaging material storage areas, shipping and receiving areas, and the outside grounds must be included in this inspection. Also include all food contact surfaces and framework as well as the processing environment. The documentation of the findings of each inspection and the corrective action taken to resolve each discrepancy must be kept on file. A periodic review of these reports by the plant sanitarian will help in the evaluation of the overall effectiveness of the sanitation program. This review will aid in the recognition of problem areas so that appropriate changes in the program can be made and reinforced from time to time and aid to step up the production of the facility. So in this module of training in sanitation, we have learnt the basic objectives of sanitation, the major focus which has to be laid during the sanitation program, who is the people who are at stake to conduct the program, what is the target group, and the basic procedure which has to be kept in mind when planning such a program. And therefore, having come to know the importance of such a program, it is ideal for every food operations unit to have such a HACCP program for each and every employee, starting from the manager, regarding the employee's particular work, to have such a sanitation schedule in place which can be reviewed from time to time, thereby maintaining utmost sanitation and safety in the premises of food production, and therefore assuring a maximum gain and food turnover and a profit for the company at large. Thank you.